Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about how the mainstream media, the globalist controlled, propaganda, mainstream media, how they can still or are still effectively dupe. I wonder sort of sometimes why they push certain narratives, because they're so blatantly false. I mean, outrageously false on any measure, on any factual based sort of situation. They're outrageously false, yet they still do it. So I sort of wonder, why are they trying to? But the situation is that it works. They wouldn't be doing it. They'd be trying a different narrative. And what we can see when they switch narratives, when narrative A doesn't work, then narrative B, and then narrative C, they'll just keep on going because there's no one really to challenge them. So they can pirouette and backflip and somersault but it must dupe enough of the public. Well, it does. It dupes enough of the public where they keep on doing it and see it as helpful to the furthering of the globalist project. So I was talking a couple of days ago to a lady. She's an American. She used to live in the United States, moved to Australia with the family, and she's very, very leftist. She has only ever worked for the government in not only the United States but here, has worked in education. So very lefty, being exposed to very lefty, views, Marxist views on how society should be ordered, and and also she worked. With in areas where there were a lot of black children from single mother households where 3, 4, 5 children, 6, 7 children, whatever, and all from different male partners and that sort of stuff. So now given all these men sort of are unemployed or have never worked, then there's no chance to collect alimony and child support and things like that, or a couple of bucks a month or something. But so anyway, she's worked in that area, and we got talking, and we sort of don't really know each other. We nodded hello every now and again, and nice day and nice weather, and that's just small talk. And but as I was going by, she said, well, I'm worried about next week in America, and I had no idea. I didn't know anything about her, and whether she's political or not, or was aware of anything. But so I looked rather quizzically at her, thinking, what does she mean? And she said, the midterm elections. It's possible that the Republicans could get control of both houses of Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and that might be the end of democracy in America. And I thought, wow, that's straight globalist talking point there. It's nothing, and it can't. So again, the logic of it is so the people, the citizens of the nation, go to vote at the election time, and because they have the right to vote and they vote, that means that there's no democracy because they're voting. So is that, have I got that right? So I sort of stepped her through the logic of it. Oh no, you don't understand. The only the Democrats are supporting democracy. Oh, the Republicans are trying to stop black lesbians from voting, and it's the end of democracy. Hitler, fascism, Nazi. And so she just went off on this sort of very, very emotional sort of, again, the globalist, the most leftist extreme talking points, which are, can't you feel the pain of the black lesbian that can't vote? Or what if they have to produce voter ID? Black people don't have ID, which means they're being denied the vote, which means Hitler. And just, the leaps of and so I thought, well, I'll try, and because she's obviously not a moron, but so I thought I'll try and maybe have a little chat. Well, so I thought I'll just start by gently asking a few questions. Well, things have been pretty bad since Joe Biden sort of became president. The southern US border, I mean, it's over 5 million illegals have come in, and they're nearly all illiterate peasants that have come into the United States, and no one knows, how many criminals there are, how many members of drug gangs, people smuggler operations. And she looks at me rather strangely. Well, no, that's 5 million people. No, that's just lies. There's only been a few thousand. There hasn't been very many, and no, that's just lies. That's Donald Trump is telling those lies. That didn't happen. There's small numbers. And what's wrong with that? Why can't these people, these oppressed people, come to the United States? What's wrong with that? They're entitled to come. They're why should they be stopped? It's only Nazis. Only Nazis would stop them. Oh, okay, all right then. So let me just understand this: that the 5 million plus people, illegals that have been there, that's not true. There's only been a few thousand, and they should be entitled anyway. And if anyone's got a problem with that, they're a Nazi. Yes, okay, all right then. Well, what about the price of energy and the price of oil and gas and all this? And Biden shut down a lot of the pipelines and the energy independence that was achieved under Trump. That's all gone. It's all happened within 2 years, and the price of petroleum and natural gas, all that sort of energy, generally oil, has gone gone through the roof. Oh no, that's not because of Joe Biden. No, that's because of all the bad things that Donald Trump did and his friend Vladimir Putin. It's what Putin did. It wasn't what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden, he was doing good things. He was fixing the problems that Trump made. So was America energy independent? Oh, if Trump did that, it's only because he had to do bad things to other people. Oh, fuck, all right. So it's only Putin that did it, and it's Biden trying to fix Trump. That's why and it was all Putin's fault. Yes. Okay, all right. Well, what about all the measures that were taken? The sanctions and so on against Putin, which prevented the Russian gas from getting to Europe and America and so on, or elsewhere, getting into the global supply. And, that seems to have hurt the West far more than it has Putin. Oh no, we have to stand up for Ukraine. Ukraine's a thriving democracy. There's a big LGBT community in Ukraine, and if Putin takes control, those people could be marginalized and oppressed. So we have to support Ukraine. It's a democracy. It's a democracy with LGBTQ rights. We have to support it. And if we have to all pay a little bit more, then that's worth it, because we have to stop Putin, because he's like Hitler. Don't you know he's like Hitler? And you don't like Hitler, do you? And so that conversation was. So pretty much everything that Biden has fucked up and done, then and there's no sort of short list here. There's a lot of stuff on the list, rather than that's not really him. It's still Trump's fault. It's Putin's fault, or it's those damn fascist Nazis in the media doing it. Well, gee, the media's controlled sort of 95% by the globalists. Oh, but it needs to be 100% control. You can't have people spreading disinformation. So, okay, all right, now anything that's negative to Biden and the policies he's pursued is disinformation. Yes. Okay, so if it's disinformation, then it must be put about by bad people, and those bad people must be Nazis. Yes, that's right, Nazis. Yes, and Nazis don't have any rights because they're Nazis. So, okay, then. Now, this is not a malicious person. He's not necessarily moronic. Not a high IQ player here, but not a moron. Nor is she malicious. I think it's the road to hell's paved with good intentions type person that she wants, can't you feel the pain of the black people? We have to do something. We have to stop the white devils, Hitler. And you can see the sort of the veins standing out in the head, because you feel the pain of these oppressed peoples. And who are they oppressed by? Straight white fucking males, by Hitler. And we have to stop that. So if anything makes you feel bad inside, it must be done by someone who's bad. If someone's bad, they must be a Nazi. If they're Nazis, then they're not entitled to the same legal rights that anyone else is, and they can be dealt with arbitrarily and summarily. They can be taken out the back and shot because they're Nazis. So you try and then explain to someone, well, doesn't that make you a Nazi as soon as you go down that path? No, because my intentions are good. I'm trying to do good things. There's two of us in the room. I'm the good person. Therefore, the other person must be the Nazi. Don't you get it? Ah, okay. All right. Now it just surprised me that this, no matter what, subjects I tried to raise or questions or methods of interpretation, no matter how you look at it, it was always came back to the same thing. Well, I'm the good person. I think that. Therefore, the other person must be the Nazi, and therefore the bad person. And this is really how the how the mainstream globalist media spin it. But this is what how deeply she believes it is quite another matter. It's obviously a comfort zone bubble type belief system, and I get that. But I'm surprised that somebody would succumb so wholly to the mainstream media narrative talking points. What it means is she hasn't thought about it, doesn't want to think about it. It's comfortable to take that position, and she's one of the many that do. But I forget how, because it's beyond my capacity to understand at times. I think, well, how would anybody believe that? Look, I can see an article from MSNBC or CNN or a piece, and I go, one I saw some black presenter said that everyone that voted for Donald Trump must be a fascist. That means there are 73 million fascists. And instead of saying, well, that many people can't be fascist, instead the CNN presenter was saying, well, that just shows how many fascists are in our midst and shows how brutal we have to be to bring them all to heel and show them the wickedness of their ways, and any means we employ to do that are acceptable because they're all fucking Nazis. And that mentality goes through. And again, this woman's not an extremist, not naturally malicious. She wants to do good things and believes that anyone who has a view other than the view that she holds must be bad and therefore is a Nazi. And this is really how successful the mainstream media has been and the globalists have been in dividing our society. People didn't used to think like that. They just used to think someone had a point of view that was maybe a little bit different, but okay, that's fine. But the open hostility to someone that doesn't share your point of view, that's something that's fairly recent, and it's part of what's destroying the West. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.